How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Drake, the Tier 8 British heavy cruiser. In the July update, Drake received a pretty substantial buff, and that is that now the Drake has acceleration mod or propulsion mod in the second upgrade mod slot. And I think that's something that a lot of the community has been asking for a very long time, because being a British cruiser, you didn't have access to prop mod before. And unlike the British light cruisers, you didn't actually have improved acceleration, and this thing felt absolutely sluggish. So now that we have prop mod, this ship is a lot more comfortable to play. It's still very far from being one of the best kiting cruisers at the tier, and just cruiser in general. There's a lot of other issues that this ship suffers from, but at least now we have prop mod to make it a little more comfortable to play. And when we're trying to juke shells, well, if we dodge the first one, at least we can speed up to try and dodge the next salvo, because before, once you dodge the first one by slowing down, you're basically cooked. So the best thing you could do is just build for rudder and try to just wiggle your way around most of the salvos. Now, the problems that I have with Drake now is the fact that this thing's main gun reload is kind of too long. I am using I honestly don't know what his name is because I keep putting guises on, but the British battle cruiser commander, we're doing our like full reload build, because reload is one of Drake's biggest weaknesses. Without building for this reload having a 14-second reload, it's pretty painful. I think you're gonna usually be sitting at around 16-second reload, and I mean Atlantico guns, secondary guns, reload faster than that, as well as our meme reload Odin build. So Drake not having the reload, and I mean it's also has some pretty bad firing angles. Just not the best. Most of the time you're gonna need to be kind of kiting and at a fairly decent range, just so you don't get dev struck by battleships that can overmatch, i.e. this Kansas that's pushing in. So we're gonna need to try and just sail away as best we can, try to use a lot of these islands for cover to kind of go in and out of spotting as much as we can. But the upside of Drake, I mean, on these two 234s, you do have quarter pen, so you have 58 millimeters of pen, I'm pretty sure, which is basically just enough to be able to actually pen Yamato's deck, which there's not a lot of ships in this game can, and Drake is one of the very few. Not even Hindenburg can pen Yamato's deck, because Hindenburg with those 203s and quarter pen, you're only penning 50, so there is an upside to these Drake guns. But the reload is pretty painful. I did decide to throw on a epic mod for this match because, well, any reload help would be very nice. And then on top of that, doing our kind of meme gimmick reload build. As we take damage, which I was kind of hoping the Kansas would shoot at us more and actually hit us, just so maybe we're sitting at like half HP with our heals ready, that we could get like a slight or more of a reload boost. Enemy Albemarle, I mean, we were able to citadel them. This AP isn't that bad. You can also overmatch stuff like Neptune and Minotaur. But again, having that kind of ridiculously long reload, it is going to suck more often than not. And we can kind of get away with switching shells because we do use on second thought. So early on in the game, we did have like a 6-second shell switch to switch to AP. Shooting at the Albemarle, and we did get some citadels, just didn't quite have the accuracy to dev strike him, unfortunately. Something else about Drake, not really sure if I'd rather be running defensive AA over sonar. I mean, it's not like we're gonna find ourselves pushing in to a battleship with torpedoes as often as we just did, and I mean, since we're gonna be kiting most of the time, there is a Chkalov. Realistically, Chkalov could have been focusing us the whole time, but he's kind of been dropping our friendly Bismarck in front of us, and those bombs don't actually pen the casemate armor on Bismarck, so he's kind of been wasting a whole lot of time and a lot of his planes on Bismarck. And then there's the ship with the other 234s that our secondaries and reload faster than Drake guns, which is kind of funny. I don't know, I'm pretty sure they also reload faster than Cheshire as well. And I am pretty sure those are twin guns that are on Cheshire. So yeah, Atlantico, kind of a special boat if you ask me. Pushing in, trying to get next to our Bismarck as much as we can to try and provide some AA support. But Chkalov, I mean, having these fighters, even though they did get buffed, the fact that they drop all of the ordnance so far away, most of the time the fighter won't actually engage, which does kind of suck. But it is what it is. Enemy Chkalov kind of took a billion years to actually do anything, so all he's going to do now is just bow and reverse away. Kind of need to be careful of this enemy Atlantico. I do kind of want to shoot at the Chkalov because who wouldn't want to shoot at a carrier? But if we do keep pushing towards the Chkalov, because we don't really have that much range, if Atlantico is still alive, he's going to be creating a crossfire, and Drake can be dev-struck pretty easily. It does have a pretty big citadel, and I'd rather not take any sort of chances. As we're pushing towards the Chkalov, I realize Atlantico is reversing, and we are also within detection range from the Atlantico, so unfortunately we do need to turn in, which, well, we basically could have eaten a torpedo. Atlantico gets touched from a friendly battleship, creating a crossfire with the Bismarck. Not the one all the way in the bottom left corner, the other one that actually pushed in. But now that the Atlantico's gone, we can kind of just stay angled to the rest of the map, and we can just basically farm the Chkalov, just trying to reverse away. Drake, I mean, there's not that many cruisers that can actually pen Chkalov's deck, because I'm pretty sure it's 30. A lot of other cruisers will probably struggle, but not Drake. Drake also has a pretty decent HE alpha for these 234s, so that's nice. But as this Chkalov gets further and further away, you can kind of see the floatiness of these shells, which kind of seem like it's worse than the Americans for whatever reason. I mean, maybe there was some kind of gimmick buff to the US heavy cruiser AP to just make it a little more usable, which is what I'm pretty sure the buff to Baltimore was. Also, looking at that Chkalov squadron, he's actually been deplaned trying to go after this Bismarck, and again, using those skip bombs against the battleship that has more armor than your bombs can pen. Yeah, Chkalov's kind of been wasting all of his squadrons. Luckily, he didn't focus us, because one Chkalov HE skip bomb probably could have taken half of our HP, and we would just simply die to it. So we're kind of lucky, especially early on. I feel like Chkalov could have easily gotten rid of us, especially when their battleships were pushing in. And then if they were able to, I mean, there was a Carl pushing in, but us farming the Carl, the Kansas, and not really being focused at all, it kind of allowed us to get away with something that realistically we shouldn't have. Enemy Chkalov still reversing, although unfortunately my aim isn't great, so we're not able to finish him off. At least Bismarck was able to. Enemy team folds pretty quickly. I mean, 3 ships died in like 5 seconds. And then there's the enemy Kagero all the way in the back of our spawn, chasing our carrier. I mean, I could just only imagine what would have happened if he just stuck around torping our battleships in the middle of the map instead of chasing a carrier. But, you know, destroyer players, kind of special. If they go and torp a not a battleship, carrier all the way at the back, and that's all they do for the whole match. Funnily, more often than not, because I think carriers give a decent amount of XP for, well, doing the damage to them, and I guess also planes, but it's not like Kagero's going to shoot down planes. That's going to save their XP, and they'll somehow still end up at the top more often than not. So a DD that kind of abandons his whole team to go chase a carrier, not great. But at this point, all we're going to do now is basically just back up and hope the Kagero decides to play the game again. But realistically, I mean, I'm kind of expecting our Graf Zeppelin to have secondaries that would just insta-kill the Kagero. I mean, all he really needed to do was just keep sailing away and spot him with planes, because even though planes don't spot for other ships, Graf Zeppelin planes, if you spot the destroyer, it will still allow your secondaries to be able to shoot at him, which is kind of interesting. Although Graf Zeppelin does go down, unfortunately. I would have thought Kagero just insta-dies to secondaries. But at this point, we're just going to go and play the objective. Kagero's going to have to push back in. And I mean, for him to try and backcap 3 objectives while we have, I mean, somewhat intelligent players, there is a battleship that's going to go and try and chase him, which, I mean, realistically, there's no way for him to find him, even if there's a carrier, because carriers don't spot anymore, and they're just damage farmers. I mean, the best thing you can do at this point is just turn away, try to stay at one of the caps and see if he, well, tries to play the game like I said, and then he'll probably end up getting caught and killed off if he decides to. If he's just trying to go for damage, I mean, realistically, you just pillar around islands or just sail away, and then you're not going to die, and we'll just simply win on points. But at this point, I'm just going to fast forward because all we really do is just sit in the caps and wait for the DD to try and do something, but he doesn't really do anything and just tries to survive. But Drake, getting prop mod, definitely a lot more comfortable to play. Being able to actually accelerate like a cruiser should rather than the extremely sluggish Drake that we had before. I mean, it is very nice, but at the same time, I still feel like there's other things that Drake needs a little more help with just to make it a little more competitive with all of the other cruisers that exist at the tier, because it is kind of hard to want to try to play Drake when, I mean, there is clearly just better alternatives. And it's not even just like kiting HE spammers, it's your AI gaming ships as well. And yeah, I don't know. I think if Drake had a decent reload, it would be a lot more fun. But game basically ends. Kagero did shoot his guns at least once, I guess, but after that he didn't even care and just basically wasted the rest of our time. Drake though, 142,000 damage. I think that's fairly decent for what this ship is. We did get a lot of assists. At least we didn't get the Monty medal. That's good. 3,100 XP. Also pretty good. I'm also certain getting those caps at the end kind of saved our XP. But yeah, like I said, Kagero went all the way to the back, torped the Graf Zeppelin, and somehow ended up second on his team. And I mean, he just basically sailed past caps, didn't defend it, allowed his team to lose that way. And yeah, and I mean, I'm pretty sure he only had 1 kill as well. All he did was go to the back and torp the Graf Zeppelin, and he's second. So yeah, unfortunately, he plays second. Probably thinks what he did, chasing the carrier all the way at the back, is effective, as his whole team died around him. But yeah, I guess glad he was on the other team. But Drake, I mean, we do have a 14-second reload with our current build. And just for comparison, we're going to go and look at our Odin build, which for some reason I was also thinking we had a faster reload than the Drake. Although we did kind of scuff our build because we were kind of messing with the Preußen before we got commander presets, so we kind of have to reset our Megatron build for this. But also on top of that, if we decided to use the BA commander, that gave you 8% more reload when you use the secondary funny button. Obviously, you'd have a much faster reload as well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure with this build, I'm like 80% sure we actually had less than 14-second reload. Now obviously we did have Brawler, which is another 10% just as a commander skill. But also I kind of also feel like if we were to try and use like Refill Station or something, I mean 5% more reload, I suppose. I mean, we do have on second thought as well. But I mean, realistically, we are talking about a cruiser versus a battleship, and the fact that Odin's guns reload faster as a battleship, even though it is technically large cruiser guns, but it loads faster than smaller caliber, obviously doesn't make sense. Kind of like how Yamato reloads so fast compared to some 406s. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share it with your friends, or leave a comment down below for the ships you want to see in the future. But anyway guys, till next time, aloha.